Hi everyone, Lisa Steffen, your mortgage professional at American Pacific Mortgage. I am here today on Market Monday with Matt Cail of Supercharge Marketing. Thanks, Matt, for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, can you tell everybody a little bit about yourself and Supercharge Marketing, as well as when you're not doing all things social media, what do you like to do?
Thank you. And the genesis of Supercharged Marketing actually goes back to the late 90s. That's when I started working online. And it was a very different world back then, all about web boards, and internet was not nearly what it is today. But that's also when we began starting to work with clients. So Supercharged Marketing officially incorporated in 2010. And we really help mostly small to medium-sized businesses with various aspects of their online presence. And that can mean a lot of things. I'll leave it at that for now. I will say that when we're getting away from the monitors, I really enjoy gardening, particularly a garden of roses that I have, which I go out and I prune and I train, which helps keep me sane. And also just trying to get out and getting some exercise too. Going for jogs and that physical exertion is very welcome.
Nice. And anything we can do to clear our brain and our minds from everything is a good thing. I like the gardening part. I like more of the pot gardens of the, smaller pots. I'm not a really great gardener, but the small ones, I definitely enjoy doing those.
Yeah.
So, we're going through a lot right now with COVID and just everything that's going on, and a lot of businesses not being their brick and mortar being open. What should people be doing right now to try and stay connected and engaged?
And the first part of that is making sure that you're present. This is important all the time, even in normal situations, but is especially so now. A lot of businesses have an online presence of some sort, an existing website and the like. And I mean, the analytics that are available are clear. People are still going to websites. In fact, for some industries, people are going more there now than they were before the pandemic hit. So always the question to ask yourself is, whenever they're searching for your business or they end up on your site, what do they find? Because the big question that a lot of consumers, potential clients are going to have right now, are you still in business? And if so, how are you operating to make this all work?
Mm-hmm. So, and then if they do with the social media aspect of it, then, if they've got their website up and running, what can they be doing on the social media side?
Well, and that's where the social media is acting as a megaphone for the website. Hopefully on the website, you have a COVID-19 update page, which is going to talk about exactly how you're continuing to operate. And that's great, but it should not be standing alone. Then you have to be blasting that message out over the social media platforms. If you as an individual are synonymous with your business, that means LinkedIn updates. If your business has a Facebook page, Twitter account, Instagram, all those things, that content should be going out there. What we've seen is some shockingly large brands. Their last post was right at the end of March, right when all this was really hitting, and then that was the last post. Now, when people go there, and not all of them are even going to get over to your website, so they just find you on the Facebook page and see the last post was March 29th, what are they going to assume? They are going to assume that you were disrupted, and you were disrupted in the way where you are not taking current business. And they'll move on. They will make that judgment. If they see proactive updates, we want to let you know we're an essential service, or this is how we're operating safely, or we're doing online consults and other services that are still in operation and unaffected. Those types of updates are huge, and making sure that you're continuing to get some contacts online, be it through the site or via the social media platforms.
Right. That makes complete sense. Now, as far as the social media and the posting and that, is there either a better time that people should be posting, or is there a certain amount of posts people? I've heard, oh, you don't want to post more than a certain amount of times, and how much business and interest, and is there a balance that you recommend?
Well, it's interesting on that because we haven't seen as much change on this, post versus pre-pandemic. And that is a number of times per week spread out. And this is going to depend on your brand. I know there are many businesses we work with where on average they have 3 different posts per week. Now those are spread out. They're not all 3 on Monday or Thursday. And then in regards to what time of day, This is where it becomes very critical for you to be reviewing the data on the social media posts. Exactly how are those posts performing? You're going to find out that everyone's audience is somewhat different that you're collecting on those platforms. Some of them are early morning readers. Other ones are mid-afternoon readers. And some of them are more night owls. And
Right.
we've seen that without looking at the data, you really don't know what's happening. So we always advise early on, experiment with different posts shared different times of day, and then look at the data about what's hitting, what's driving the engagement. And then at that point, then you're kind of shifting the schedules around accordingly. I mean, nowadays, there are so many tools both on and off the social media. It's not as if you have to go on at 7:58 at night and do that post. I mean, all the scheduling makes that largely irrelevant, but you have to see it really, the data should drive it for what your audience is telling you.
Right. And is that's something then that you do for your clients? So when you're working with a client, whether it's in the real estate business or some other service type of business, um, you work with them to do individual posts, so they're all fairly custom.
Yes. For example, all the topics I've been talking about, getting the message out about COVID-19, how is it impacting or not impacting your business? How are things proceeding? What's still available? Yes, we've been posting a lot of that type of content, which is individually targeted for clients because everyone's different. But so yes, we create those posts, we schedule them out, we review the data. Just as all part of kind of the best practices of suites we offer.
Great. Now, what about paid advertising as far as, you see on Facebook, they boost this post or, you can advertise. How does that work and how can that benefit people?
This is a favorite question of mine because it's very much a history lesson. And there's been a couple of times where we've already learned the answer. But the first one is back during the Great Depression. Right before that hit, Pepsi and Coca-Cola were roughly comparable in their market share of drinkers. And they had two very different reactions to when the Depression hit. Pepsi curtailed marketing, Coca-Cola did not. And Coca-Cola has been dominant with its market share ever since. Now, fast forward several decades, 2008, 2009, when we had the Great Recession. Facebook advertising wasn't around yet, but a lot of other online advertising was. And we saw the same thing again. The brands that ended up totally scrapping the online advertising that they were doing, they didn't all go away, but they took longer to bounce back. They were not as top of mind when the recovery inevitably did arrive. Just like this one, there'll be a recovery at some point. The exact timing is up to debate, but we come out of this at some point. So we found that the companies back in 08 and 09 that kept that going definitely had more of an upsurge when it came. So we've been advising a lot of clients, at least keeping a toehold, be if that's Facebook advertising, advertising over on Twitter or Pinterest or Google ads, try to keep something going. I know Facebook, for example, has also announced small business grants to where you can do Facebook advertising, at a reduced or essentially no cost, depending on your situation. There's an application process. But to try to keep something like that going, because I mean, even from the ads that we manage, the engagement is still there. And actually, for several of our clients, April is one of the biggest months because more people are searching for services online than ever before. They're not going out as much. That makes sense.
Right.
So we're not gonna tell people that it should be as big as it was before or to even be more aggressive. But we highly recommend keeping some online advertising spend active in the marketplace.
Yeah, and now that the we're slowly phasing and opening up into the different stages, if somebody hadn't been doing anything, it's not too late for them to start now, is it?
No, it's not. And really, that's one of the opportunities, but also one of the challenges with all of this. You're going to see businesses that didn't really do anything online, advertising, website, social, as of late March. They basically went on pause. And even March of 2021, things won't have changed much. And that'll be a drag until somebody finally tells them, by the way, we thought you were closed.
Right.
But it's not too late. It's not too late right now to become more proactive, because now actually we're going to be going from the ramping up into the pandemic to a lot of cases ramping down. And you're going to get some businesses 6 months from now that won't have updated their COVID-19 information, which is
Right.
going to be seriously detrimental. They won't have updated their advertising to reflect it. I mean, it's a challenge because it's at a highly changing environment, but there's also an opportunity because it's not too late.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. And if somebody knows that they need to do this, but they're like, oh, I'm just not a Facebook social media. That's where you would come in. So they could meet with you, and does it matter what kind of a business they are? Do you work with all types of business? So if somebody's like, I need help with my social media, that would be, that's what you do.
Yes, and we work with a wide variety of businesses, and sometimes they have different needs. Some folks just need help over our websites. Other people are on social media content and advertising. Still other people are just online ads. Since this crisis began, in the past, we've had consultations we've offered for clients or prospects, and we've been doing those at no charge. So I
Okay.
always make the offer to any business. So there's no pressure, there's no salesiness, but we're happy to evaluate what businesses have going online and suggestions to consider going forward. And there's no cost at all for that, even if they don't end up working with us.
Great. So how would they get a hold of you? Is it email? What's the best way for people to get a hold of you?
They can send a message right through our website, which is really easy if you go there, superchargemarketing.com. They can
Okay.
also go onto our social media and contact us that way. And they can also leave a good old phone call or text, 425-247-1870. So we do practice what we preach. So you can get in contact with us in a number of ways, and the ways we advise people be active online.
That's great. Yeah, and with everything being virtual and that, it's probably really it's nice to be able to have that ability to reach out in the way that's easiest for people, right?
Right. Yeah. Right now, all of our consults are scheduled right up through our site, and it's things like this via Zoom or other video conferencing tools. So it's very easy, especially
Yeah.
right now.
What would we have done without Zoom? I know my life has been revolving around Zoom, and I'm working from home, and I can hear noise in the background and trying to stay focused and that. But well, this is great, and all of your information is posted here too. So if anybody has any questions or wants to find out about it, get a hold of Matt. He's awesome, and he can help you get the direction that you want to go. So thanks, Matt, for being here today. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you very much again for having me, Lisa. I enjoyed it.
All right, you have a great week.
All right, you too.
Bye.